Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, Mr. Momoa, coffee spot.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Mexican standoff.
I see this as a threat. I'd like to report this to HR. Yeah, Jeff, I don't like being threatened like this.
Fine, I won't threaten anybody anymore. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast, everybody. I'm really weird today.
I feel like you're taking a threatening tone to our viewers.
I'm a little weird. Sorry, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm a non-threatening Jeff.
Whoa, Jeff. Dude.
Oh, man. If you guys are keeping track at home, this is episode 91. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man. Jeff, I am challenging you on your incredibleness.
Oh, okay. Do I have to like show my work like it's math class?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. I'll turn it in at the end of the day.
All right.
Okay. It'll be on your desk.
I'm not getting anything, I promise.
We'd love it if you followed us over on social media. It's really easy. Our social media of choice is Instagram, but we Facebook and Twitter a little bit as well. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
You had to think about
I
it.
did. I told you I'm a little weird today, guys.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
And yeah, we're really excited to get into this podcast. First and foremost, though, I want to thank a couple friends of ours. First up, Mr. Brock Powell.
BrockVox.com.
He is the voice actor on this show and 1,000 voices out there in the world. We announced on this show a couple shows ago. It is now official. I just saw the press release from Disney Channel themselves. The show that Brock has been voicing for the past 2 seasons, Milo Murphy's Law,
Right.
which is helmed by Weird Al Yankovic. And Brock is one of the voice actors as well on that. They are re-pushing the show out on Disney Channel Prime. Like, it's been a Disney Channel XD show for the last 2 seasons, but now you're going to be able to watch starting at episode 1, season 1, right on Disney Channel, so you'll be able to go check him out. And he's got a lot of cool stuff happening this year, too. I also want to thank new friends of the show and what you're hearing us talk through, Sennheiser. Sennheiser makes some of the greatest audio equipment out there. We got hooked up through them, through mutual friends, and we couldn't be happier. We got new mics, new headphones, new clothes. It's great.
Those are dope hats, too.
They are. It's a Newman hat.
And I like my Sennheiser shirt.
Yeah.
Classy.
So shout out to those guys. If you guys are looking for audio, any kind of audio equipment, I would start with that company for sure. And finally, new friend of the show, new podcast that's out that just came out with their 25th episode, Hypothetical Thinking. Really fun set of guys. They talk about some cool topics, and you feel like you're part of the conversation. It's really, really fun. In fact, we met them all just this weekend and had a blast with them. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, do we talk about this weekend?
Yeah, we just got back. We told you guys last week that we were going down to Jersey, and we did. And we just got back from Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, which is the other side of Walker Stalker. We've covered Walker Stalker on the show a couple times. That is the Walking Dead themed convention that also has Sons of Anarchy and has some other people. Heroes and Villains obviously is much more heroes and villains. It deals with a lot of the Marvel and DC television and movie properties. So you're getting a lot of those types of actors and actresses. And we had a blast down there.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect because both you or I don't really consume too much television to begin with.
We try to. There's so much good TV out there, but yeah, we try.
And, you don't know what to think other than I know the people working the event, and I love the people working the event. They're family. So I knew that was going to be good, and that's why we go to these things.
Yep.
But, dude, it was just as fun, if not fun, than most of the events that we've handled with these guys. And everything went off smoothly. Everybody loved the coffee, man. I think we
Yeah.
got like 15 celebrities at least hooked on Death Wish Coffee, which is
Definitely.
always good.
And from some of your favorite television shows like Gotham, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl. We even hung out with Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the Justice League movie, and fingers crossed, his own standalone Cyborg movie, which would be pretty rad. And he was saying, we actually moderated a panel with him, and he was saying, the reason why that's kind of up in the air is because it would take a lot of money, to make him be Cyborg for a 2-hour movie. But I was thinking about this after the fact. It's like, we have Iron Man, we have Spider-Man, we have these movies where like the superheroes are predominantly CGI when they're superheroes. Get on it, DC.
Yeah,
you
what are
can
you
make
doing?
it. You got the money.
You're slacking. And I'll tell you what, this Ray Fisher character, he's like the next generation of awesome dudes hitting the acting scene.
Totally,
And,
totally.
we're going to see him in True Detective Season 3. He couldn't really talk about too much about that, but...
Which is good, because
yeah.
that's why that show is awesome, because you don't know what's going to happen from episode to episode. So the rumor is that Ray's a part of it, and he did basically confirm, yes, I'm a part of it, but I
he
can't
shared
say,
the trailer.
Yeah, he's like, I can't really say what I'm doing, and that's cool, because I'm sure whatever he does in it probably is very intrinsic to what they're going to find out in True Detective.
Yeah, but we'll see
land.
this guy in everything. He's talented, he's nice, he's handsome,
Yeah.
and he's half
Half
robot.
man, half machine.
Yeah.
All awesome.
He's
Yeah.
a cyborg, is what
it
I'm
was,
trying to say.
It was a lot of fun, and we just got to tell you guys, if you ever see a Heroes and Villains fan fest or a Walker Stalker in your area or in your surrounding area, go to that convention. We both have been to a lot of conventions, whether it be coffee, tattoos, comic book conventions, the whole myriad of different types of conventions out there. Best convention, hands down, is the Fan Fest conventions.
I mean, there's literally, it sounds so corny saying this, there's something there for everyone.
There really is.
Bring the whole family for fun, but seriously, you'll want to get a tattoo, you want to buy a cape or a cane or a awesome piece of artwork from Rob Pryor.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just so many awesome things to do, and it's so well organized, and they've done this 1,000 times, and you can tell they're pros. And it's just a great event. Go to one.
Yes, definitely check it out.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
This week, and this week only, until September 19th on deathwishcoffee.com, if you type in the secret code word, Colin, Jeff, spell that.
COLIN.
With one L, by the way. That will get you 15% off of these awesome tank tops that you're seeing behind me, or if you don't see anything because you're listening to us, go to deathwishcoffee.com, check out those tank tops, get 15% off with the code word Colin. That'll go until September 19th. Why am I having so much trouble with this? Where's my mind?
I don't know. It's probably working out like it is in that photo.
It's not. It's not.
It really does make you look like a beast, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. But it's a really cool tank top. The industrial logo is on the front of it. It's all black. It's perfect for being on the beach out in the sunshine or working out. And
or wrestling.
But all week long, you'll get 15% off at deathwishcoffee.com if you type in the secret code Colin.
Jeff, tell us why it's Colin.
Well, it's Colin because this week, right now on the show, we had the honor to talk with wrestler Colin Delaney. And boy, was it a lot of fun. We went up to Rochester, where he's based, and he is now the owner and proprietor of the Pop Roc shop up in Rochester, New York. And what it is it's basically a coffee and cereal and comic book shop. I mean, how cool is that as a actual place to spend your day? What do you think about that?
I mean, what could you not like?
Right?
It's crazy. You get a bowl of cereal.
Yeah.
You get some weird, strange energy drink cocktail.
Yeah. Some Death Wish coffee.
Yeah, you watch some Saturday morning cartoons.
Yep.
You read some comic books.
Yeah.
You play some video games.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's so awesome. So we sat down with Colin at the shop, talked about what it's like to start a business like that, to start out, a brand new idea like a cereal bar, an all-day cereal bar and coffee, serving Death Wish coffee, and, just pop culture stuff everywhere. And not only that, like I said, he was a professional wrestler and still is a professional wrestler. If you followed ECW, you might remember him as the Extremely Cute Wrestler, which is a hilarious name, but it is who he is. And it's.
Are you saying Colin's extremely cute?
Look at that man. I think he's pretty darn cute. And you should have seen him when he was back in his heyday, too, because he had that long flowing hair.
All right, yeah, that helps.
But Colin was the best to talk to. And not only did we interview him, we went to a match later that night and got to see him wrestle for real. It was so much fun.
It was fun. It was strange. It was like
so cool.
What a weird night we had.
It was so weird and awesome. And we chronicled the whole thing. And we've got it for this week's episode with you guys. I cannot wait for you to listen and to hopefully watch this episode.
You're going to want to watch this.
Yes.
If you're listening to it right now, stop, go to YouTube, watch this.
Yes. So mugs up for this week's death guest, Colin Delaney.
Cheers.
The Fueled by Death guest.
I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us on the show. And we are in your shop, Pop Roc in Rochester.
Yep.
I can't stop looking at all the amazing things.
Yeah, you have the look that a lot of people have when they walk in here, especially here in Rochester. We're the first thing even close to this around.
Yeah. Is there any other comic shop in Rochester?
There's comic book stores,
but
sure.
nothing like with
So-
comics, coffee, and cereal.
So what made us come up with this was the fact that all the comic book stores or toy stores around here aren't like this. Like you go in, you get your stuff, and you leave. Right?
Yeah,
right.
And
Yeah.
like that's how a lot of them are. You go in, you get your books. They're kind of cluttered. There's stuff everywhere. Like comic book stores, there's just boxes and boxes of comics everywhere.
Yeah.
We didn't want that. We didn't want that cluttered look. We
That,
didn't want
that overwhelming feeling when you walk into
they're like
the
visually
shop. Yeah.
assaulting sometimes.
Yeah.
And same thing with like collectible and toy stores.
Yep.
They're very like, it's just look at this, there's things here.
Yeah.
But we think that right now with how big all this stuff is, pop culture is, with like Marvel, all these Marvel movies, they're the hottest thing. They make a bit like, they put one out, $1 billion.
Yep.
In the pocket of Disney.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah.
So naturally people would want to like hang out and enjoy these things together, right?
Right.
I mean, they should have a place where they can get together with similar like-minded people and enjoy these things. So
Yeah.
we've tried to create that, I guess.
I think one of the coolest things is cereal all day.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a huge lover of breakfast cereal, and was that in the beginning of the idea of this show? Not at all.
Not even close. So once again, it was just, we need a place where people can hang out. We need a place
Yeah.
where people who enjoy this stuff can come and enjoy it together. So we wanted to do coffee. More specifically, caffeine was our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because calling ourselves a coffee shop seems disingenuous, because I feel like there's like a level of expectation that comes with that we would have like lattes and frappes and all this other stuff. Well, we didn't really want that. We wanted some coffee and some energy drinks, and caffeine was our thing.
Right.
So it happens.
Hey, it's a shop.
So we realized if we wanted people to be able to hang out here, we should offer them some kind of food. And I always wanted to do Saturday morning cartoons with cereal.
Yep.
Which is great.
Perfect.
And then we were like, I mean, why just stop at Saturdays? I mean, we can do it all the time. And then it started, we can mix and match them. And then we added toppings. And then, like, it just grew from there. And now it's easy. We make them into milkshakes now. It's easily the most popular thing here. Easily.
Yeah.
And-
Well, it's so nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
Right.
just it's a shot full of nostalgia. Even with the music playing, you got like 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, and
you know,
it feels
music
like
playing.
if Saturday morning was a location,
Yep.
here it is.
Yep.
You can
Yeah.
get that Saturday morning feel. You can watch cartoons, which are usually on at least 2 of the TVs. You know, you can listen to that music. You see things that, are from your childhood.
So what made you want to start something like this?
It's I call it a life hack. It's just take a bunch of things that you like and just put them in a location, open it up, and hope that other people like them too. And
That's
so
cool.
far, it's been pretty cool. People
Yeah.
are really digging it.
Outside of the cereal and the cartoons, the comics, have you always been a comic book fan?
I have on and off throughout my life, I've always dug comics.
All
you
right.
know, I fall in and out of them
Yeah.
because they are kind of hard to keep up with.
They
Yeah.
are, definitely.
So, and now they're so expensive. So we have a membership program here where for $20 a month, you're a member, you get 20% off everything. That includes coffee, cereal, comics you buy, but you can also read them for free while you're sitting here.
Whoa.
So if you actually read comics and you plan to like come here regularly anyways, the membership just makes sense. You can sit, enjoy a bowl of cereal, have a coffee, and read a couple books, which are like $4 a piece nowadays.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
man.
They,
And like the print industry, they're like, the print industry's dying. It's like, yeah.
You're
Can I
killing
swear
it.
on this?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
No
dead with-
shit.
We're dead with fucking coffee.
No shit.
Yeah.
You're charging $4 for 30 pages of book. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I remember as a kid, when they went from $1.50 to $1.95 and begging my parents for a little bit more in my allowance.
Yeah.
And my dad looking at me and be like, I don't know, you could mow the neighbor's lawn. Like, it was like, what am I going to do? Like the comics are, and they've constantly went up since then. So it is kind of something like that. Go-to superhero. Aquaman.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
100%.
100%. Why?
Really?
Because he talks to fish?
I don't know. I got really into him during like the 90s Peter David run
Okay.
of Aquaman was
Okay.
like my era of comics. And I don't know, everyone always ragged on him, but I always thought he was cool. And he was cool. He is cool.
He is cool.
Yeah.
He's got like, people are like, oh, he talks to fish. No way, man. He's the fucking king of the sea. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, he's the king of Atlantis.
He rules Atlantis. What's your thoughts on Jason Momoa then?
Oh, hate it.
Yeah,
Really?
Good.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it.
Good.
So, Aquaman is Nordic, right?
Right.
He's like a Nordic, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Like, that was his thing. I get it. Eventually, he got the beard. That does not make him Islander. They made him, like, Polynesian. It just doesn't make sense. I'll roll with it, but,
Yeah, but-
I'm not. I mean,
I'm with you.
he's not my Aquaman.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody that you had in
I
mind?
don't know. No, I don't. Because I never thought they'd make Aquaman into a movie.
Right, exactly.
As much as I love Aquaman, I know everyone else kind of hates on him, so it's never a thought in my mind like, who would play Aquaman?
I think
right.
maybe like Skarsgård. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
There's like 18
Alexander Skarsgård?
of them. Yeah, the
yeah.
one from True Blood. I think he would have made a good.
That's a
I
good
think he
one.
would've
That's
made
a good one.
Aquaman for
One of
sure.
the, I mean, the Hemsworth's already a Thor, but like
Hey,
when you
they-
think,
Yeah.
like once again, it's like a Nordic feel. It's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
more of what I think of when I think of Aquaman, not Islander and like the Polynesian like island look, which I get what they're going for, and it does make sense. But Aquaman's been the same way for so long.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, congrats on this shop
Thank you.
because it is that feeling, the thing where you get all of your favorite things together, and
Yeah.
then you just are like, you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make something from all of my favorite things.
Yeah, and we've had a bunch of people come in and say like things like, "Oh, I've had the same idea," or I had an idea just like this." So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm sure everybody did at some point because
didn't do it.
it's a bunch of cool things that you like, and you know a bunch of people who like them, so it only makes sense to open it. But we got up the balls and just said, you know what, let's do it.
And I think there's a void of this kind of
Oh
thing.
my God,
and
yeah.
Also a demand for it.
Yeah.
We're always going back to the things we loved as kids. And you always see this revolution of things becoming popular again because the people who loved it as kids are now adults and they're producing things and they're in charge of starting businesses and making films and stuff.
well, right, like Incredibles 2 just came out.
Yep.
yeah.
That movie's not for kids.
Not at all.
Because, and like, I don't say that because
for
there's any
us.
adult undertones or it's
Yeah.
like very
No.
adult oriented, but the first one came out like 15 years ago.
Right.
You do not make a sequel 15 years later and say it's still for kids.
Right.
No, if you were a kid 15 years ago, you're in your 20s or 30s now.
Exactly. I
That's
mean,
what
that
that
was
movie's
15
for.
years ago?
Yeah.
It's
I
something
mean,
like that. Something crazy. It's over
Yeah.
10 years ago, yeah.
But I mean, look at the same thing with the Toy Story franchise.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Like
at
when
this
Toy
point.
Story 1 came out, sure, that was for children. You know,
Yes.
it had its adult
Right.
overtones
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But by Toy Story 3 and 4, it's like those children have grown up.
Yes.
Like it's the adults that are going and seeing the nostalgia.
We
that
are
they
all
love.
Andy now.
Yes,
we are all
really
Andy.
are. Don't make me cry.
Pixar is
I
just
know.
they'll get you. I
really
love
do.
Disney
Yeah.
movies. Disney's like my
Yeah.
thing, my jam.
Me too.
Disney Pixar is they're on my heartstrings at all times. Have you
Yeah.
seen Coco?
I have not yet.
Dude, I can't believe how trippy it was. Like very psychedelic, right?
Yeah,
so
oh,
good
yeah,
at
yeah.
that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't expect that. Like whoever made this, Took a lot of drugs.
Pixar, you've
Yeah.
done it again.
Yeah, they have.
Rare do I watch one of those movies and there's not a moment where I'm like, I'm fine. I'm a grown masked man. I'm not.
They know what they're doing.
Rare a time.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the culture, this comic book culture, this pop culture,
Yeah.
which is so exciting. And that's my segue into another culture, which is wrestling.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, again, it's one of those cultures that, I mean, when I was a kid back in the 80s, it was everything. You know, these were the superheroes that
Right.
I would watch on
Right.
television.
What was the action figures you were buying?
Yep. And then, it's had its ups and downs, and now we're seeing it again,
Yeah.
where wrestling is got this appeal, and it's that surgence of the culture
It
again.
goes through waves and it has forever.
Yeah.
Which is why when it gets down and people jump off, it's like, fine, jump off. It's gonna come right back. It does this all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I grew up on the Hulk Hogan's and the Randy Savages, and
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
know.
what was your first take into wrestling? The first thing that really like sparked your interest.
I had a VHS tape, and the main event was like a cage match with Randy Savage and the $1 Million Man. And I remember watching
that's a good one.
that VHS till it like burned out because wrestling wasn't as readily accessible back then.
Yeah.
It was on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw wasn't around yet.
No, yeah.
I remember I was still really young when Monday Night Raw debuted, and I just remember begging my parents, please let me stay up late, please, because it was on at like 9 p.m. That
Yeah.
was way past bedtime. They were like, you can stay up for the first match.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, one match of wrestling.
It's incredible, the culture, not just the culture behind wrestling, but wrestling as a form of entertainment. Because
Yeah.
to the layman, you watch these larger-than-life characters on screen,
Sure.
battling it out with each other, and again, to the layman, you're like, well, this is fake, and anybody could do that kind of thing.
Right. Good
But
luck.
these people, especially our heroes, like we were lucky enough to have the $1 Million Man on this very show.
Yeah. Oh,
and we're
really?
and we're
Yeah,
talking to Ted.
man.
We were talking to him about those early days, and it's like the amount of work and preparation.
Oh, yeah.
And just drive and focus that these guys had just to make the thing that appeared on Saturday morning that all kids like you and I would sit there and go, oh my gosh, like it's incredible to me.
Yeah.
This culture.
At this point, Monday Night Raw is like the longest running episodic television show in history.
Yeah.
Because it's been going every Monday. Like it's not a seasonal show. They've been running every Monday since 1993.
That's insane.
Isn't that like and then like
It's
think
insane.
about that as any show.
Yeah.
Any show. Like there's writers, there's producers, there's all these things that have been running this show since 1993 every Monday.
Incredible.
And that's like just such a monumental, like mammoth thing that people don't even think about. Like all that goes into it, like let alone the in-ring product, but like the behind the scenes, the backstage segments, the writers, the producers, all those trucks, all those cameras, all the setup, all the teardown.
It's a traveling circus. It's
Since
intense.
1993, every Monday,
Yeah.
and now they do it on Tuesdays. Also, there's like once SmackDown came around in like the late 90s, early 2000s, then you added just another one of those, plus pay-per-views, plus live events. Like it has to be the most intense travel schedule, TV
Ever.
schedule. Just it's grueling.
Yeah,
the
it is.
logistics behind it must be.
So
just
if anybody
insane.
when anybody says, "Oh, that fake stuff," it's like,
Right.
Are you out of your mind?
I know.
Some of the hardest working people on planet Earth are doing this, and the ones who are in the ring are beating the shit out of their bodies night in and night out, sometimes 300 days a year.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like fake, but you can watch a fucking movie and be like, give that man an award for what he
Right.
did in one
He's-
fucking movie
he's faking it.
that took him 3 months to film, and you want to give this motherfucker an award, but you're like, these dudes are fake.
Yeah.
You are fucking out of your brains, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so with you. So walk us into this moment in your life where you want to pursue this.
Yeah, I want your
You want to
origin
become a
story.
professional wrestler. Like, where does that come? How does that come into your life?
It was always a thing in my life. Like I said, I stayed up late. I begged my parents to let me stay up late. I was like obsessed with it. It was all I wanted to do. Like when you're a kid and you have a thing you want to do. Mm-hmm. And most kids fall off that thing.
Right,
whatever
I wanna
that
be an
thing-
astronaut. I wanna
right,
be a-
sure,
yeah,
an
yeah.
airplane pilot
Yeah,
or a
yeah.
fucking football player or whatever you wanted to do. I wanted to be a pro wrestler, and that was it. Like straightforward, here I come. I'm going for it. I grew up. I was 135 pounds, 140 pounds. I was 16 years old, and I said I'm going to wrestling school. That's it. I found a wrestling school nearby, and I went to wrestling school. There was like tuition you had to pay. I returned cans and bottles. You know, I got my first job so I could pay for wrestling school.
What is wrestling school like? What does that entail?
So you learn all like the basics, like how to fall and not break your neck every time.
Yep.
You know, how to just a lot of the basic movements and stuff, footwork, running, like hitting the ropes, coming off them. You learn a lot of the basics in wrestling school. So you got to do that first. And yeah, at 16 years old, I just started doing it and then started traveling around with other local guys who were kind of doing it or trying to do it. At that point, you know, I would travel with a bag of VHS tapes with my name on it and my, you know, phone number in case a promoter wanted to use me, and I'd give them my VHS tape that they could watch. So try and, put me on shows.
So it's a lot of just self-promotion, just trying to make it into the industry.
Yeah, nowadays there's like Facebook and like YouTube, so you can just email some guy and say, hey, I want to do your show. Here's some videos of me. Man, back when I was coming up, I had a flip phone and two VHSs hooked up that I could like record one to the next, and I had a bunch of blank VHS tapes that I had to write my name on and pass out to promoters.
Wow.
So when did that start to like pan out for you, and when?
So it was going fine. You know, I was still young. I was like 21 years old, and I was wrestling around the Northeast, going to Philly, going to Boston, going to Pittsburgh, going to Cleveland, you know, wrestling on pretty decent shows with guys who I, you know, looked up to and knew, and I thought that was super cool. And then WWE came to my town, and a friend of mine who now wrestles there, he goes by the name of Luke Harper. He was backstage, and they needed a smaller guy to get beat up on TV that night. Just, there's like, we need a small guy. And he said, I know one.
I'm just picturing like the producer in the background. We need a punching bag. Get me a punching bag.
Yeah, basically. Everybody they had was too big, apparently. Because my buddy, Luke Harper, he's like 6'7". And he was
just a big guy.
He was backstage there, and there was a bunch of other guys who were like 6'3", 6'4". They needed someone to get kind of tossed around, and they didn't have anybody that size. Well, my friend stepped up, and he called me. And I wrestled a guy named Shelton Benjamin on ECW at the time it was, WWE's version of ECW. Yeah. And I just went out there and got thrown around by him. And I got to the back, and they loved it. They thought I did amazing. They thought I did great. And they brought me back next week. And at that point, I'm a 21-year-old kid who has never, like, I was working in a factory. Yeah. When my buddy called me, I literally ran out the door of this factory without saying a word to anybody. I was just like, see ya!
Yeah.
Going to wrestle!
Yeah.
Drove straight to the arena with nothing but, like, work boots and some beat-up jeans, like a pair of knee pads and some wrestling shoes in my car. Wow. Had someone bring me my wrestling gear, and I wrestled on TV that night, and they loved me. They brought me back. Gave me $1,000 bonus, which at that point I'd never seen $1,000 for anything in my life. As a, you know, as a kid, and they started flying me city to city to wrestle for them on TV on a weekly basis.
At this point in your career, you're going from working hard and going around, you know, the country and wrestling, and now you're wrestling on television. Do nerves ever come into it?
No, I don't think they had a chance to. Like, there was some times where I would be standing in the ring and looking around where they were in, like, commercial break, and I'm waiting for my opponent to come out. I'd look around and go, holy shit.
It's a surreal moment.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. But usually it was just, you know, once I go out through the curtain, it's like any time. Whether there's, you know, 10,000 people or 100 people, it's all kind of the same thing. So it doesn't really, I don't get, like
right.
At one point I was in the main event of the sold-out Staples Center.
Wow.
Like, Staples Center in L.A.
Yeah.
Sold out to the fucking top.
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
in the main event with, like, Batista, who plays fucking Drax in the Guardians
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Wrestling against Edge when he was world champion.
Yeah.
And it's, like, this crazy moment where it's like,
am I really here?
I look back on it, it doesn't even feel like it's a real memory of mine. It feels like it's something that I watched on TV.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I actually lived that.
Wow.
That's
Weird.
insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you ever gotten injured?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have 3 metal plates in this side of my face now.
Really?
That was just a couple years ago.
What's that from?
My face was coming down. The guy's knee was coming up. And it just...
Oh, my God.
I rolled out of the ring, and the ref comes out. He's like, are you okay? I said, pretty sure he broke my face. He goes, are you serious? I said, I don't know, but I think so.
It feels broken.
I've never had a broken face before, but
He's like, what do you want to do? I go, I think you should ring the bell and just say the match is over. He's like, really? I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm going to count you out. I go, no. Don't count me out. Just ring the bell. And I'm going to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh man,
And
was
I
that
did.
was that your worst injury?
Probably, yeah. I was
It doesn't get much worse than breaking your face,
and
right?
putting 3 plates in it, yeah.
Yeah, that's intense. Any other memorable injuries?
No, not really. I mean, other than like pretty whatever, like sprained foot, sprained ankle,
Yeah.
broken hand, like little like whatevers. And I worked through most of them.
Yeah.
Like, I've wrestled in a walking boot. I've wrestled in a hand cast.
Wow.
I wrestled 6 weeks after breaking my face.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah. I asked the doctor because I thought for sure like 6 months to a year. Like I
Right.
shattered my face. They had to
Yeah.
they had to cut me here,
Ugh.
peel my face down, and put 3 metal plates in there. I
It
was
looks
like,
good.
That's
I
so
can't
brutal.
tell.
yeah, good plastic surgeon, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So got 3 plates put in my face, and I was like, how long till I can get back to normal activity? He's like, well, you could probably get back in the ring in about a month. I was like, what?
Wow.
Whoa.
He's like, 6 weeks. Let's call it 6 weeks. And I was like, hey, you're the doctor.
That's
6 weeks is just
Did you wait
fine.
the whole 6 weeks?
Yeah, I did.
Were
Yeah.
you chomping at the bit the whole time?
Kind of. Not for the first couple weeks. For the
Yeah,
first
well,
couple
yeah,
weeks, I
'cause
just
you're in pain.
I had to sleep sitting up and
Ah.
like wearing just this thing over my face. I was like the Phantom of the Opera.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
Just watching cartoons and just hating my life. But this is a true story. So I'm sitting on the couch. I have to sleep sitting up the whole time. I'm just flipping through the channels. And this is when I fell in love with the show Teen Titans Go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because it was on
So
all
good.
day and all
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
pretty
it was a
much.
great one.
And the first episode I turn on is Beast Boy breaking his face. And I was like,
Oh. It's me, man.
I relate.
It's so me.
The show speaks to me. Literally is speaking to me.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So, and also in wrestling, everybody dons a persona and has kind of like their character, their
Sure.
at least what you exude. I know you have been referred to the extremely cute.
Extremely cute wrestler.
Yes.
So,
where does this come from?
I
Other
was
than what I'm seeing
yeah,
in front of me.
right.
Other than this vision in
Yeah,
front
it's-
of me.
Well, now I've got plates in my face, so I'm like the extremely presentable, like extremely. He's all right wrestler. But when I was on TV, I was on their version of ECW.
Right.
So extremely cute wrestler, ECW.
I love
so after
it.
I got off, I was still like a 21-year-old kid. I was a baby-faced kid. So
Yeah.
people would always say that I was cute, and I would say extremely cute.
Oh, that's
And then it
perfect.
just rolled from there, and I
Perfect.
got on that Twitter game pretty early, so @extremely_cute is my Twitter handle.
Yes.
And people are like, how did you get that? I was like, man, I've been on this Twitter thing for a long time.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
The first tweet WWE ever put out on Twitter was about me wrestling Mark Henry. So it's like, if you go back to their very first tweet, it's about like Mark Henry beating me on ECW.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You should get that framed.
Yeah. Those are the things you can't take away from me. I was your first tweet.
Well, speaking of things you can't take away from you, you have your own action
Yeah, I
figure.
have an action figure.
What is that?
So-
What does that feel like to have yourself immortalized in an action figure?
I gotta take a closer look.
Is
Sorry.
It was a.
I'm gonna try not to make it weird.
It was a lovely parting gift because I was fired by the time that even came out.
Ah.
So the story behind it is actually someone told me they announced that they were going to put out an action figure of me.
Uh-huh.
And then I think I got fired a month later. And I got fired just because they were just every once in a while they'll clear house a little bit. They're
Right.
kind of a little spring cleaning.
Yep.
Some guys they weren't doing anything with, they kind of get rid of, and it is what it is. It's not,
It's the industry.
it happens.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I bet they don't put that action figure out now. But they did. And I thought I was so excited that they were actually still going to put it out. And then I found out later that it was because they had to make a whole new body mold without muscles. And so for them to not put the action figure out, they would have lost so much money. So they're like, fuck it, let's just put it out and try and make a couple bucks off of it.
Oh my
Try and
God.
recoup the body mold for the no muscle.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
wouldn't say no muscle.
I mean, yeah,
Just-
it's very,
just-
very little. But if you've ever seen a wrestling action figure, they're just
Yeah.
like abs.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's like abs
huge
on, abs
pecs.
on, yeah.
And if they were going to make an action figure of me, they were not going to. They were
That-
going to make it just like this guy right here.
That is awesome. I mean, I grew up not only watching wrestling, but obviously playing with wrestling action figures and
For
stuff.
sure.
And that's just so cool that
Yeah,
like,
I have one.
You have one now. No one can ever take that away from you.
No,
That's
they can't. They
amazing.
can't. Except for no, they can't.
Yeah. So you still wrestle constantly.
Yeah.
In fact, you were just on television.
I was just on television on Tuesday.
What is
Yeah.
that like? Do they call you up and are like, okay, we're gonna have you as part of this
Yeah,
this act?
when they're in the area, we usually talk, and if they're interested in using me, they'll tell me to come to TV. So they were in Boston and Manchester, New Hampshire, which is kind of far for me, but close enough. It's
Yeah.
within a drive. So I went down and did Raw and SmackDown on Monday and Tuesday, and they have a show now called 205 Live. It's all like kind of lighter guys, under 205 pounds.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's on their network, and it's on after SmackDown. And so they put me on Tuesday on 205 Live, and I wrestled a new kid they have there called Leo Rush, who is fast as lightning. He's like 22, 23 years old, probably weighs about 130 pounds.
Wow.
He's fast as lightning. Like, I would turn my head, and he was already just long past me, and I don't often feel slow, but I felt slow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm on my game. I know where I'm at. I know where I'm going, but man, that kid was fast as lightning.
Wow, somebody to watch then.
Yeah, the
for
game
sure.
the game has changed. These kids are fast.
Damn. So not only just doing it when they call you up, you're wrestling a lot locally, like and,
Sure.
and
Yeah, we're going to an event tonight.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about tonight's event?
Yeah.
Sure. The local promotion here is called UPW, Upstate Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
It's actually the school that I trained at. It's coming up 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I trained at this school, and they're still running shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's at a bar called Pineapple Jack's tonight here in Rochester. It's kind of a small setup. They put the ring in the back, like concert area. So like the ring is up on the ring's actually on the floor, but right in front of like the stage. There's seating on the stage where concerts usually go.
That sounds intense.
It's pretty cool, and
It's
just
got to
like
be
a-
electric in that room.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a. If you've never been to an independent wrestling show, it's a whole different atmosphere. It's a whole different because
I
like
can't wait.
you can only put like 100, 200 people in this room all together. So there's only like 4 or 5 rows on each side, a ring in the middle.
So there's got to be a strategy behind putting on a show in a room like that.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean,
Is it more dangerous?
kind of. Yeah, because there's not as much space. Yeah, because there's not a whole lot of outside space between the ring and the fans.
Yeah, I feel like if there's a floor to hit,
Yeah.
and what about the people like watching? Are they in danger?
there's a barricade.
Okay,
But
the barricade doesn't save you.
It is
I
wrestling.
mean,
I mean, come on.
if there's not a whole lot of floor space because you're trying to get as many people as you can in this room. So
Yeah.
it's fun though. These independent shows are a lot of fun. So I wrestle here and I wrestle, Buffalo, Syracuse, like I said, sometimes over in New England or Philadelphia area, over in Cleveland a lot, down in Pittsburgh a bunch. So I still try and keep active. Sometimes I'll go a little outside that, like fly out somewhere to like Texas or somewhere.
Do you have a
outside
pretty
the
intense
area.
training regimen?
I do sometimes. It depends. Since opening this place, it's been kind of lax.
Yeah.
Like once when WWE called me, I had about 3 weeks till TV. So I started working with a personal trainer because since we opened this place, I might get to the gym 2 times a week, maybe 3. And I'm not getting the best workouts of my life because I'm trying to like juggle 100 things at once.
Right.
So yeah, I've been working with a personal trainer in the last couple weeks, which is the craziest thing. I've never worked with a personal trainer before. Holy fuck.
You've got one.
Yeah,
The dude
Yeah.
beats my ass.
yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Like
Yeah,
there are times where I don't think I could lift my arms, period, paragraph.
I don't know how I drive
with,
home sometimes.
Right, with
Yeah.
no weight in my hands.
Yeah.
And he's like, 3 more. I'm like, 3 more? 3 more what? I don't even think I could lift my arms with nothing in them, let alone these 250-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel, I don't know, it's so character building when you find your bottom and then you
Yeah.
go a bit deeper.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's fun though. Yeah.
Yeah, and when you work out by yourself, you can't like hit failure that hard.
Yeah.
like because failure to that point would be like dropping large weights on top of yourself at times, or I don't know, falling or dropping yourself or something like that. But when there's a human being there to like push you and push you to that limit, and he's gonna make sure you don't die.
Yeah.
You can push a little harder. You can try a little deeper, and it's crazy.
So, we are so excited to see this event
Yeah.
tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I gotta ask from a wrestling standpoint. Do you have a favorite move? Do you have a go-to move that you like? That not necessarily that is like I'm saying like a signature move, but something that is your favorite when you get to pull it off, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't. It depends.
It depends.
I've been doing this for a long time, so it kind of changes with the day.
Yeah.
I just invented a move recently, which is pretty cool because
Excellent.
at this point, wrestling's been around for so long. So when you kind of invent something that is all your own, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because now the wrestling world has kind of caught a hold of this move, and like I'll see it on other things, but it's like, oh, that came from my brain. I came up with that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
I hang the guy up so he's seated on the ropes.
Okay.
And he's facing outside of the ring.
Okay.
And I run and I slide out of the ring under the bottom rope and grab him at the same time and rip him off the ropes. So like a baseball sliding German suplex.
That
What?
sounds so
Yeah.
cool.
How do you develop something like this and not kill somebody?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Well, I'm
I don't know. We lost 3 people.
far less concerned. No. Yeah. Once I'm under the ropes and I hear a big loud bang behind me, I'm like, all right, well,
He didn't die.
he's,
Maybe.
I feel like he's still alive. Sounds like he's all right.
Will
No
we see
one's
this
died yet.
tonight?
Probably. It's been a favorite of mine recently.
Excellent.
It gets a good reaction. So I'm not overly athletic, but I can do some athletic things. And anytime I get to bust out some of the more athletic things, because the match doesn't always call for it,
Yeah.
And I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a guy who does a bunch of flips.
Yeah.
So my matches don't necessarily always call for them, but anytime I can bust out a backflip or two, I'm into that life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have such just an infectious spirit about the
Thank
sport.
you, yeah.
You really do. Like
I mean, like I said, I've wanted to do it since I was yay high, and I just went for it. I just did it. I dropped out of high school to start going to wrestling school. I was like, nope, this is not for me. This is not what I'm trying to do with my life. I know what I'm trying to do with my life, and it starts here.
Yeah.
You know? That's it.
It's very inspiring. The final thing is we ask this of all of our guests
Okay.
through it all with the business that you have now, which is incredible, your wrestling career and everything else. What fuels you to keep going out there and doing these things?
Oh, man. I don't know. That's like a deep... it's like one of those deep thought questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know we were going to get deep like this. You guys are trying to Pixar movie me here. You guys are Pixar movieing me. I don't know. I guess, like I said, this is like for the wrestling. It's just always been what I've wanted to do. So no matter what, I had that goal in mind, and I just kept going towards that goal. Still today, I still keep going towards that goal. I mean, getting back to WWE is still a goal. So I will just head down and just barrel towards it.
Right.
And same thing with this. Like, I think this place could be huge and could be the coolest thing, and we could franchise this, and we could have a bunch of these all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yep.
And the only thing stopping us would be us. Like, that's the cool thing about this place. If we want to have an event or something, we don't got to throw it by anybody. If we want to get a new product in here, if we want to make a new something, if we want to do something different, we do it. And as long as we keep putting our all into it, it's going to work. Because that's how places fail. Like, someone will own, like, oh, I bought a bar, and these people are managing it, and this person runs it, and these people work here.
Right.
No, we own this place. We run this place. We work here. We put our all into it. And if you're going to, like, if you're fully putting your all into something, don't lie to yourself. If you're actually putting your everything into something, you're going to succeed. You have to.
Yeah.
When there's no other choice, that's all there is.
And when it's something that's your own, or something that you have control over, or can make something happen, it's very like that. The feeling of achievement is really next level. And I don't know, just that freedom to decide and shape the future of an idea.
Yeah,
it's
cool to watch it every day.
it.
When I watch this place grow, when something new happens, it's like, man, this is like, it's happening. This is cool. This is like, it's a thing. It's real.
That's cool, man. And I can't wait to see how everything turns out with this.
Because we're still only 3 months.
That's crazy.
In.
You're only
That's
3 months in.
Yeah,
that's nuts. So
you guys are killing it already.
What are the next steps? What do you plan? What are your big dreams for this place?
Originally, this place was like it was supposed to be a little bigger. I guess event space. We wanted like to have bigger events here. Like, we wanted to be able to have wrestling shows inside of Pop Roc. We wanted to be able to have like concerts and comedy nights and all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So eventually, possibly a bigger space or expanding to more spaces, because once we've kind of got figured out a little bit like our menu and like how things work, because we've just been, I promise you, we opened up on a Friday at 8 a.m. till about noon. None of us had a fucking clue what we were doing. And we opened the doors.
Fun, man.
We opened the doors, and there's human beings coming in asking us to do things, and we are just like, yep, here it is. We're doing it. Yep. You just got to act like you fucking know what you're doing.
You just got to take it one step at a time, you know?
It reminds me of Deathwish Coffee.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how we started.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, we say that all the time.
If you act
man.
like you know what you're doing,
Yep.
no one's going to question you.
Yeah.
To use that advice for trying to sneak into like a sporting event or something like that, just act like you're supposed to be there. No one's going to fucking question you. Just walk right in.
I live by that sometimes.
No, we really do.
And what gives me confidence is that more and more, as you start to do a thing like this, you find out that that's what everybody's done before you.
Right.
Nobody really actually knows what they're doing. They're just going for it.
Yes.
And they're just taking it one step at a time until they have an empire.
Right.
And it's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing to see things like that unfold.
Yeah, we're doing it.
That's cool, man.
We're doing it.
That's so cool. I mean, with all of it, I can't wait to see where you go with wrestling and with the shop.
And mixing them together.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's so inspiring hearing you talk about these things because it's what you really love.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I think that's really great.
Right. It's why we're here.
It's why we're here. And finally, for our listeners and fans, to follow you, would the best way be Twitter?
Sure, Twitter. You can, follow the shop, Pop Roc Culture, at Pop Roc Culture on
right
Twitter,
here.
on Instagram, on Facebook, all of it. You can find us you can find me on Twitter at Extremely Cute.
Yeah.
On Instagram at Extremely Colin, because Extremely Cute was taken by the time I got to the
Son of a
Instagram game.
bastards.
Yeah, the Instagram game I got to a little later. But yeah, no.
Excellent.
Check us out.
Yes.
Come on. If anyone's in Rochester, New York, come on through. We're right.
I highly suggest it. By the way.
337.
Anybody in the area, I would want to be here every Saturday morning just to kind of like relive my childhood a little bit.
Yeah,
and
mix and match some cereals.
It almost seems like a good way to like turn off the noise for a bit.
Yeah.
Except
down.
for Men at Work, which is on currently. You can turn off all the noise except for Men at Work.
That's great.
Colin, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks,
for
guys.
taking time to
It's
be
been
on the
fun.
show.
Great.
Awesome.
Cheers.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.